This is day 486 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor a coming share or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It'd be greatly appreciated. Today is a red letter date. We're finishing Siman Shin Ches Be'ezus Hashem and starting Siman Shin Tes. So, Siman Shin Ches, Sif Samach Tes, to Siman Shin Tes, Sif Gimel. Samach Tes. The seal of the lid of a jug which has been broken. He used for a mutar tavel Shabbos, allowed to carry it and its shards on Shabbos. When you can use them to cover a vessel of some sort. Which means to cut, it says here in the brackets. You shouldn't break it further. Velismo bakari to cover keli, or lismo karimita, or to support a wobbly bedpost. The way he interprets it is you shouldn't smooth it out to move any juttings out or any sharp points in order to make a kli. For complete as a kli, to have a makabeh patish. It's completing a keli. The cover of the lid which broke, you're allowed to cover it and its broken pieces. If you threw it into the garbage before Shabbos began, or is the top not allowed to move it? If you have a kli which became unstable, like you should not pick off a piece in order to use it to cover or to support. The Enfarsh Karashi Mishum Tikkan of Lidus Oktim, who doesn't say that it's called Makabatish because you're fixing the outward protrusions and sharp points. But rather, this means that they must say when are you allowed to use Shvarim, when are you allowed to use both pieces, when they're best separated from the vessel. They have been separated yet, even though they become weakened to the extent that they are very easily broken off. Nevertheless, you don't have to break them off with your hands. The bracket says Kenu Perish Shulchan Sif Medal and Sham. That's what Shulchan means. Below Hevi Perish Rashi Mishnah Rambam Gam Belav Achilaso. That's being a Rashi because the Rambam covers Rashi. Obviously, he's going further. He's saying you can't break off a piece, and certainly you can't fix the piece. Ein Hakadorim Shem Sachem Bohem. Balls with which people play are muktzeh. You can't cover them with. You can't use them for any purpose. You can't use them to cover vessels because they get dirty from the mud and the dirt which sticks them when they're being used to play with. The male also so comes out now to play ball on Shabbos. Yeshvin, some said they came doing the slok since they're suitable for playing. And there's no prohibition to play for people who derive pleasure from it. Whenever you're allowed to move them and you're allowed actually to play with them. And Mishnah Berurah says that nevertheless Rosh Hashanah and of course, and even the Carmelists, it's also Chliyam on Shabbos. Only Yontiv it's mutter to those who lean, of course, even Rosh Hashanah. And also Mishnah Berurah says you can't play on dirt because you might come less for your gumos. You're going to might come to smooth out the dirt. And also brings down here, he brings that also, but this is not quite as Mishnah Berurah. Some people might think on Shabbos, I guess maybe because of Gzeira of he might come to doing Shus Rabim, but he doesn't make the distinction. But now he brings down, however, the famous Yerushalmi, which many pamphlets at Erevin quote, warning that even if there's an Erev not to play ball on Shabbos, even Arukh HaShulchan just said, he says that well, that's a famous Yerushalmi. The thing is that Yerushalmi does not say Shabbos. It just says, I believe it was Tur Malka was destroyed because they played dual ball there. The assumption everybody makes is that means Shabbos, but it doesn't say Shabbos there in Yerushalmi. But that's the thing down here. It could be the Medrash Eicha does mention Shabbos. They did not look it up there. Uh, I don't want to come across disputing though the issue, the point that for people already older somewhat, perhaps let's say over the age of bar mitzvah, playing ball on Shabbos is not a Shabbos thing to do. I know Tulas Hameshi, the a silkworm. Nosi Mosatachas, it's a ceiling. Don't ask me. They cover. They carry it under elbows. Okay. And it gets warm in the elbows, and it lays its eggs, I guess. Male Shabbos also you saw some nation for him. So Shabbos not allowed to carry for two reasons. One, they shumasa because it's burden. Vote to come moli, but Shabbos also you're giving birth on Shabbos. I guess. B'nei the last I named Gabonim. Mitalas had done beyond the so it's for the latter reason also in Yontif. Here's the Talta Begat Shat and Shabbos. People say that you're not allowed to carry a Shabbos garment on Shabbos. Came show the Lisha Kisi says it's not suitable for wearing and covering. The male do muksa. Or male gets muksa. Here's what some people make the shari Torah's Keli love it has the status of a Keli. Milu Zevan that Yosem Klisha Machtul Isser Eov Shaldumba, but it can't be any better than Klisha Machtul Isser. Kanki Mutter Tzar Gufo comes never comes Mutter only Tzar Gufo Umekomo. He brings down a bracket to Chinkas Amar Abram Shem Yam Shlomo Kashem Shem Agud Lasel Garma Yudover Tamua. It's astonishing that the good for visit all together, but the Shmuel Paskins like that. He says it's the even Tzar Gufo Mekomo. You're not allowed to carry a shot in his garment. So basic machlok is there. Ayin base. Mutter Talta Manifa b'Shabbos Tzarchas Luhin Gashim. You can carry a fan on Shabbos to shoo away the flies. It's a person. It's necessary for a person. That's a carton with a tatlon. Some brooms which used to sweep the ground are permitted to carry. But according to Pinot, you're now allowed to sweep a house, which we don't pass like nowadays because all our floors are smooth. But according to that, Dina Klisha Machtel Isser, that according to that, it would be a Klisha Machtel Isser, Ach Onan Kaima, the Bertzava Shalom Mutar. But since we hold, then with our floors, it's permissible B'Shem Mutzavim because they are they're floored. Because I'm the strong grows every man, I'm locked on the heter, that Klisha Machtel Heter. Rashba Zal, Hitir, a famous Rashba, Latalta Istrolei B'Shabbos. Not carry an astrolabe, shuklisha chozik ochavim, which is a tool of astronomers. Mineshu mati l'ilmul chachma b'Shabbos because it allows you to learn wisdom, secular wisdom on Shabbos. Rambam says Shabbos zulas limud Torah, but according to Rambam, who forbids learning anything on Shabbos except for Torah, it's just time over. It's unclear. But as Barba Simon Shin Zayin, you see Virav, everybody we already spoke about this a couple weeks ago. B'Arashad Mikra did Vade Mutter. Certainly according to the strict letter of the law, this is permitted. I give because I'm saying about Shulchan Rabbi Sif Nunav. Mashim Moral Shoshakoin Arilozio, some sort of clock. Benchu Shochol Benchu in Menacher, whether it's like a sand glass, what is it called? You know, the hourglass sand. Benchu Shinacher, or if it's some sort of other type of material. It's not going to allow to carry it. So obviously this is a very simple hourglass and not an elaborate clock like ours. For a person in the Lazar, on Kalsham, the Shulchan says Osir, the time Dami Klisha Medina, Machlo Shis, the reason because it's like a vessel made for measurement, and therefore Klisha Machlo Isser. Maybe by wearing a watch you know how to the time for davening and for learning. Nevertheless, the measuring is not a mitzvah. This is, can you do a mitzvah by sending through time, which is usher? I'm not sure I follow that exactly. For the whole is that but in any event, you know, for this purpose, you wouldn't have to carry in your hand. You come and see. I guess they have very large sunglasses made 24-hour ones, so you can see always what hour it was by coming and looking at it. That's when they didn't have clocks like we do today. I've actually sold time kesef is up, but today we make small ones out of silver and gold. And also we make them with katashi, be pocket watches, which they carry in their pockets like a jewelry. It's obviously permissible. The great post came held this way. Brings out the brackets, which custom shard shuba sif kodem mentes shem ponim iras v'acham tziva gon reb naftoli v'oid ayin shom. Avsel b'ktani. That's my small clocks, pocket watches. I love Agdolim Moshanim Eitzel Kosle Bais. A grandfather clock, I guess, is not considered to be permitted to move. The Elu Bade Dim Kakem Shachim Isser. Still like Lishan Akla Isser. Vein Mutar Tilta Rock with Sokufun Komon. Can we move them for their, to use them or their space? Okay, Maftechim Shkol Shem, and so to their keys, with which you would open the works, and weights, which make them work. Ayin Shari Tshuva Sham. That's interesting. I would assume that it's Muktzah Machmas special keys because it's not something which normally moves. Maybe that too depends on the size. Ayin Hey, Yesh Lefamim Eza Davar Roy, but Shabbos is certain things which are true about Shabbos. Elishabaylim Hey Mashirin. But the people who own, but people who are rich who own it, it's Lamei Chavez Roy Kum. By them, it's worthless. They don't usually use it. But really, from their perspective, they were just tossed in the garbage. So it's or Matthew Muksa, but it loses its status as a vessel. But then even a poor person can't carry it. Since the owners set it aside. And Shabbos, unless the poor person acquired it from before Shabbos began. If the Nazir Shalom became his, was Mutter Matilda allowed to carry it. Interesting. Nevertheless, wow, that's a big fish. A rich person cannot move it, even though the object belongs to a poor person right for Shabbos. Only if these rich people live in the poor person's house, they're allowed to carry this. Because of that, if he's a guest, he is subordinate to the Baal Bas. Even if the neighbor, the guest, is rich and the Baal Bas is poor. So that's why it's not significant to hit by him because of his wealth. Isser have a muktzah slow, but if it's because of a prohibition, it's muktzah by him going yain lenazir, such as wine for nazir. Lo naseh muktzah bishvil kach. That in of itself does not make it muktzah. Because other people are allowed to drink this wine. Therefore, even a nazir is allowed to carry the wine. It's interesting. We don't say to nazir don't carry wine because the schor the karmel l'tikra. Or perhaps we would say that, but nevertheless doesn't make it muktzah. Okay, brings down here that's in the brackets. The Taz, we're going to have Ram or Marachnus, but this is the Dina, what we wrote in Chenkos Abagras. I would like this, there would be nice examples of these things which are not suitable at all for rich people, suitable for poor people, but whatever they are. Shin Tes. Dine Tilto Muksa Ayadei Davar Acher Echdino, carrying Muksa indirectly. Aleph, Kasaram Perchafet, if you didn't test, Peroshos Alecho, fruit you're not allowed to compare Shem Musarim, such if it's not Meiser. I feel like Chavim Meiser with Divrayim, even they're Chayav and Meiser be the Rabbanan only, or Meiser Rishon, Shalonil Chumas, or Meiser Rishon, but Chumas Meiser not be taken, or Chuma Tmei, or Chuma which is Tameh, or Meiser Sheni Heklish Shaloniftu Kilchasar, or Meiser Sheni Heklish will not properly redeem. Also the Taflon, you know, carry them, move them because they are Muksa. They're not suitable. But Demai, where it's a suffix, whether it was Meiser or not, a name since poor people allowed to eat Mai. Meiser Sheni Heklish Shepdon, Abushos Chomesh and Soto Meiser Sheni and Heklish which redeem. You didn't just put but you forgot, did not yet add the fifth. Mutar Italian allowed to move them because they are already sufficiently edible for purposes of Muktzah. Koshken Shenavela, which was certainly an animal carcass, which is the nevela, or treva chodavar asafin rabbanon, anything which is a awesome, even with the rabbanon, called yain nesech, like our wine, bismanazeh, v'chalak vinashlem, and chalavakum and gvinasakum. The asum betiltul, you're not allowed to move them. Al namaril beim, of that which is suitable for an animal, mutar betiltul, you're allowed to move them. Also, vessels which are not allowed to use because they got mixed with basar b'cholov, or bishul trefas, or we used to cook trefas, Even if it's after 24 hours, and so cooking them, but the ever would be okay. I assume until the now at the moon came the chatchila, assume because chatchila you're not supposed to even to the kasha them. However, again, if you're still supposed to put food in them for animals or for birds, we time until they're allowed to move them. So truma came with you the kohen, and so can move around truma since it's suitable for a kohen. Base obviously muksa also until even though muksa is now allowed to carry to move, we come tagla muksa did mutter, but if you're carrying it indirectly through something else, it's mutter. Should tzarchas and when it's necessary. The chayin that's we learn note of them is benova and biyado. Person can carry his son who's holding a stone. Came into going to bench such as a child who has a great yearning for his father. If you don't carry the child, he's going to get sick. The child is taking a fancy to the stone. He feels compelled to hold it. If they take him to the stone, he's going to cry. They allowed him to hold his son, and while the son is holding the stone. Even though it's somewhat like he himself is holding the stone. Nevertheless, they allowed this because of the anguish of the child. If not the fact that he had yearning to be held by his father, they're not allowed this. Even if this yearning, it's only okay with a stone. Most biyado, even though they're both the same level of muktzah, but the child don't move money in hands it's usher. Wow, that's a super chumrah. Now I have to hold the child's hand while the child is walking, holding money. Because they're afraid maybe the money will fall from the child's hand and rock. You won't care about it. But money, you're going to carry, you can pick them up and carry them. Some say the child's walking on his own power. Because just holding his hand, it's mutter. Because they never decreed you shouldn't stand next to a child who's carrying money. It's only problem if the child is carrying the money on his hands. I'm sorry. If you're carrying the child who has the money in your own hands, but to hold the child with your hand, in other words, if he's walking on his own, and you just happen to be holding him, there's no prohibition. There's no problem here. Of course, there's danger for the child. He might run through the street or something. So, of course, you can hold his hand regardless. If you have a basket which has a hole in it, you close up the hole of the stone, which you pushed in, wedged in, and allowed to carry the basket tray now because this has now become the wall of the basket. And Avram writes this. Flovin, I understand. You can't answer Busi if it's subordinate to the basket. What's the Kiddush? It's that near the Dafka Be'emenship Kurushi's Bar, Chiduk. Only a stone which is used, which we're going to see, which is used to, as part of weighting down a gourd to get water, that's an issue where it has to be wedged in. The Imlavno fails by mine because otherwise it's going to fall into the water. But if it's a stone in a basket, it doesn't have to be wedged in tightly. Which is a Chiddush Arukh HaShulchan, the Mishnah Berurah, which is much more conventional, says, talking about where you did wedge it in tightly to the basket or you tied it in, but otherwise it's not like the wall. But the Arukh HaShulchan, again, is saying that's not a Chiddush. So even it's not wedged tightly. The Zerah by Nocha Ba'am, not the Chiddush is just putting it there already makes it a wall. And the bracket says here, but the Machz is the Shekel T'muyin, the Sash Machz is the Shekel over there, then Magavan shaves the toes, so the Rabbi Steve Kandakan, Lo Boy Hiduk. The Rabbi evidently holds like the Arukh HaShulchan in this regard.